is not partisan politics. This is not the kind of behavior I would have expected from John McCain or Mitt Romney. This is not the kind of behavior displayed by George W. Bush, who was not a popular president, or George H.W. Bush, who's a respected president, or Ronald Reagan. It's not about the fact that he's not a Democrat or he's on the right. It's nothing to do with that. We're talking about basic decency and adult behavior. And I don't know how to comment on this other than to say that you have to be kidding me if this is not transparently the behavior of someone who knows that they're going to throw a party that no one will attend, and so they say, oh, in that case, you're not invited. Is there any other way to possibly look at this? There is no, I don't see. If there is, please tell me. And by the way, we saw it with the Philadelphia Eagles. And the metaphor is so perfect, it's almost like you can't use it, unironically. He's using these invites as a political football, in this case, a political basketball. But if anyone else has a better theory than that, I'd love to hear, I'd love to know another way to possibly think about this, because it is transparently what is going on.
I don't disagree with a single word that you just said. I'm just saddened by it. When I think about, to me, the presidency is about statesmanship just as well as everything else, because you represent our nation to the world. How you conduct yourself matters. Believe it or not, I don't look at President Trump and go off about him specifically. I go off about folks who have condoned his behavior for their specific gain, whatever it may be. Once upon a time, it wasn't just folks on Capitol Hill, but obviously folks throughout America, and to buffer your point, Max, both Democrats, Republicans, nonpartisan, bipartisanship. There was a mandate about behavior, about how you would conduct yourself representing our nation. It's one thing where we suspect what you're doing and all of this other stuff, but it's another thing to actually do those things. We didn't allow it. We didn't vote for it. We didn't support it. We didn't speak up on its behalf. We didn't do any of those things. And I know conservatives across this nation who speak as adamantly against him as liberals and progressives would. But they would never say anything publicly because the objective is, hey, he's doing what the hell we want him to do. So we're going to go with that. And we're going to let everything else go. The problem with it is that you have individuals who look at him. I had one guy call up on my radio show the other day and actually sat up there and said, he didn't do anything any different than Obama. I said, have you lost your mind? Do you think that President Obama could have gotten away with a smidgen of what this man gets away with behaviorally? And when we hear Steph Curry or LeBron James or anybody else speak, that's what we have to pay attention to. Just the other day, Molly and Max, I'm watching Chris Cuomo on CNN interview Senator Chuck Schumer, because Senator Chuck Schumer was speaking against a pardon, a grant of clemency, I believe, I don't know what it was, that President Trump just granted to someone after meeting with Kim Kardashian. And they were like, well, what's the problem with that? Because it addresses one of the concerns. And Senator Schumer, who I don't always agree with, but I respect, obviously, he said, you shouldn't be taking positions like this based on celebrity. It should be based on right and wrong. It shouldn't be based on, well, I have a relationship and this person supports me and they came to the White House with Kanye and I met her, and so as a result of that, I'm going to let somebody go. But that's the times that we're living in, and that's why it's so important that people who have a voice speak out, not against a party, right, but against an individual's behavior. Absolutely. It's important.
Absolutely. And by the way, that behavior is possible because of support. So people who support him that are empowering.
And oh, by the way, any liberal that acts like that, they need to be called out too.
Of course. But by the way, that's the point. If this was someone, a Democrat who's behaving this way,
call them out too.
If anyone thinks that Stephen A. or I would be saying a single thing differently, you're simply wrong. I don't know what to tell you. Look, I want to talk about the pardons, because today, Trump figures out that this politically is popular. Pardon Jack Johnson. Pardon
and Ali.
Right, wants to pardon Ali.
But he's
you know what? Muhammad Ali's lawyer sent them a letter saying the conviction was overturned. 1971 Supreme Court. There's nothing to be pardoned from. If that doesn't demonstrate the kind of political nature, this plays well, I'm going to do this. It distracts from investigations. I'll do this. I don't know what does. And incidentally, pardons in general, even of Jack Johnson or Muhammad Ali. The reason they're done judiciously by presidents in the past is because you don't want to undermine our institutions. They're saved for extreme cases of injustice. They're not simply handed out because your opinion is it plays well or maybe it was the wrong thing to do. They're handled judiciously until now. And I bring it up because it's sports related with Muhammad Ali today. His own attorney said, guys,
well, not just that. Let me read a reporting note that obviously is circulating just to make sure everybody's clear. They were saying it's unclear what a pardon would mean for Ali, as noted in the story below. In June 1971, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Muhammad Ali's draft evasion conviction, and in January of 1977, then President Jimmy Carter pardoned those who broke selective service laws in the Vietnam War. So the point is that, guess what? It does nothing. The pardon does nothing. I'm not into those posthumous awards anyway, because if somebody isn't appreciated when they're alive, well, I mean, what do you think it does for us now that they're dead and gone? But that's just me. That's just a personal preference. Most situations, there are exceptions. But there is nothing that comes out of this other than political gain, according to his constituency, because they'll look at him supporting black individuals, etc. Nobody else needs to go there, but damn it, I am.